This is WUSA 9 News at 11, and we are following some breaking news in Arlington, Virginia. Yeah, you're looking at brand new video just coming into our newsroom about 90 minutes ago. One of our neighbors capturing that huge explosion. This happened in the Bluemont neighborhood tonight shortly after 8 o'clock. That giant blast left everyone stunned. This video right here gives us another vantage point of the fire left behind from that explosion. The heavy flames and smoke seen all across our area tonight. And some of you may have heard that loud boom. Thank you for being here with us on this busy Monday night. I'm Lorenzo Hall. So as we come on the air tonight, fire crews are still working to get this situation under control. People who live nearby have been ordered to shelter in place. This as we get brand new details about the moments leading up to that explosion. Investigators say it all began before sunset, with the person inside firing a flare gun and officers then serving a search warrant at that home. That ultimately led to a standoff. Our team of reporters headed to the scene as soon as we heard about this explosion tonight. Our Katie Lusso is speaking with some of our neighbors who live near this home, and Rafael Sanchez Cruz just got an update from fire and police investigators in the last hour. Rafael is a couple of blocks away from where this home is located, right on North Burlington Street near 9th Street. And Rafa, first up tonight, we know that there were a lot of people in this area at the time, neighbors, the SWAT team. Are we aware of any injuries or deaths?
Yeah, the latest update we got about 45 minutes ago from Arlington County Fire, they said that there were some minor injuries for the people responding to the scene, but no one had to be transported. Now, as for the people that are inside that home, they haven't identified the number, but they said they haven't transported anyone to the hospital. Actually, right now, that house is still in flames and they're unable to enter the home. They're saying it's going to be a long night for them. We're focusing right now on those hot spots. As you mentioned, still a very active scene right behind me. They mentioned that they were responding to the scene at 4:45. You mentioned, though, that explosion happened right after 8 o'clock. So at 4:45, they responded to calls of the man firing flares into the air. Their officers here at Arlington County Police were engaging with that man, and they obtained a search warrant regarding the use of those flares. When the officers were going to go inside that home, including the SWAT team, that's when they heard more fire shot inside the home and that explosion that sent shockwaves across the Arlington County community. Actually, one man said he lives a couple blocks away and had no idea what that sound was, and he was able to give us a brief explanation and description of what he heard and what he was feeling during those tense moments. Let's listen.
It didn't feel like an earthquake, but there was a boom, a sonic boom of enormous. I was like, what could possibly cause that kind of noise?
A lot of questions still up in the air tonight. We're still wondering what caused this explosion, but also if they had prior interactions with this man that was shooting the flares in the sky. Now, Arlington County Police didn't want to confirm any details regarding that. In terms of the evacuation of residents nearby, they said that was a precautionary measure. But again, it's so hot that house is still on fire. They're unable to go inside and actually see how many people were inside that home and see if there's any other injuries or fatalities. Still too early to determine that. We're going to stay on the scene to get more answers regarding the incident. And again, this is going to be hours of investigation for Arlington County Fire. And of course, we'll stay here on the scene. I'm live in Arlington, Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
Yeah, and Rafa, really quickly, just to reiterate here, we know that police, during that press conference, I was listening with you tonight, they said they believe the suspect was inside of this home at the time of the explosion. Are they saying anything about why he may have been firing those flare guns or who this person is?
That's correct. He was inside that home and they were unable. There's a lot of questions whether that person is dead or if they are in custody. They didn't want to comment on that issue. They said, again, they're unable to go inside the house, so they're unable to see how many people were inside. When I asked them if they'd had prior interactions, they didn't want to comment, but I will say unofficially, a lot of neighbors in the area say that they've had prior interactions with the suspect. There's even speculation of names, but nothing has been confirmed. Arlington County Police refuses to actually confirm the name of the person who was inside that home and that they think was shooting those flares at 4:45, and that led to that explosion at 8 o'clock, past 8 o'clock. So still a lot of questions in this ongoing investigation.
Yeah, lots of questions about who that person is or was. Rafael, thank you. All right, I want to bring in our Katie Lusso now. She's got another view of what's happening in that neighborhood tonight. And Katie, again, we know this was not some random explosion. A lot of people were watching that house because of the police activity hours before the explosion. So what are people telling you about what they saw before and after?
Yeah, so the people I've been talking to, they were already out here because, as you mentioned, police were already out here. So you can see much of this area, lots of police presence. You can see firefighters down here, but I want to take you in here. So where we are right now, we are about 50 yards away from the home that exploded and the fire. So we're going to take you back here through here so we can give you a better look at the damage here. So we're going to take you straight through. You can see there's still fire going back here. So this is the home that exploded out here. And again, neighbors out here have just been watching in horror. They were watching throughout the evening. They were keeping an eye on what police were doing. And then even some people were filming the police out here when all of a sudden that explosion happened, sending debris up into the air. People came running out of their homes trying to figure out what had happened. A lot of confusion out here. This is a very quiet neighborhood and you can see a lot of debris out here. Now police have taped off much of the area. You can see the tape right here in this person's yard and that tape stretches all the way around. I'm going to have you take a look over here. You can see there's a police officer over here making sure people do stay back as this is still an active scene. And I want to again show you that flame. This fire still not out. So pretty scary moments out here. We've been talking to a lot of neighbors. Take a listen to what some of them had to say about all this.
I was just in my house and had heard like a series of like what sounded like gunshots, which I guess now we found out were flare guns. And then went outside and no one else was coming outside. And then an explosion just happened and I thought someone drove like a car through our front door.
So I was just coming out of the gym a block away and you just hear the bang out of nowhere. I just remember walking in my car and just hearing like a big kind of pop.
I was standing on my deck actually barbecuing and then I saw the explosion happen. That was around 9 p.m. I live about 2 blocks away. And then when I got here, I heard from the neighbors right here that there had been a police situation.
So again, you can see the fire is still burning and we are now several hours into all of this. Firefighters still not able to get this fire out and a lot of police. And if you take a look over here, you can see some more investigators now walking in. We've seen SWAT officers, we've seen police officers in regular uniforms. So a lot has been going on out here. And where we are right now, this is North Buchanan Street and 8th Road. So we are literally just a few feet away from where that all happened. We're going to send it back to you, Lorenzo.
Yeah, well, we've covered these barricade situations in the past. We've heard police say this is one of the most dangerous aspects of their job. Sometimes they end peacefully, sometimes they end like this. This is an example of why. Katie Lusso, thank you. We know you're going to stay on top of it tonight. And just in case you're just joining us, just to recap tonight, a house exploded in Arlington. Now, the exact cause is still under investigation. Investigators say this happened after officers responded to serve a search warrant at that home following reports of a man using a flare gun at around 4:45 this evening. So that led to a barricade situation between the suspect inside and police. Then ultimately, what you see right there, that explosion. People in the area are still being urged to shelter in place, and firefighters said at roughly 10:45 tonight that fire is contained. And right now, as you saw from Katie Lusso's live report there, they're just working on some of those hot spots. So our team will follow this story overnight while you're asleep. Look for updates during this newscast and, of course, tomorrow morning on Get Up DC starting at 4:45.